You talk to people on the left, Democrats in this administration, they say, look, you're right. Democrats would have done a lot of the same things. A lot of the same things. Maybe 90% of the same things. But it's that 10% that's vital, that's critical, that separates what you do in a kind of emotional reaction as opposed to real legitimate policy and something that can stand up over time. And that's why the debate over techniques like waterboarding, like rendition, are so important. Rendition as a policy existed under President Clinton as well. But waterboarding did not. So I think this debate is very important about exactly what do leaders do when they are tested. Because it's when they're tested, when it's really, really hard, that you find out the strength of their leadership. And so this is a debate about what the utility of those techniques. And there is a fierce debate on both sides of this.
And you know, David, there are people that I have great respect for who believe that waterboarding is torture. And what makes this issue, and I would actually like to have a public debate about waterboarding, what makes waterboarding such a complicated issue is that it was, in fact, the most effective technique. It led to the capture of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed by its use on prisoners before Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was captured, and then it led to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed revealing some of al-Qaeda's greatest secrets afterwards through waterboarding. It was obviously very, very effective, but it is also very, very offensive to some Americans. And I suspect we need to have that debate out in the open because it's not being used now, and it's not being used now because al-Qaeda leaders know if their people are captured, we're going to put them at a 10-degree angle, we're going to pour water over them for 40 seconds, and we're going to make them think they're drowning, except they'll know they're not going to really let us drown. So maybe we should have this debate out in the open.
Well, I think that having that public debate is very important to find out, in fact, whether these things do work. And that's the debate, because there are people on the right and the left who say, look, you can tout various examples, but the reality is that these techniques actually don't produce the desired result, and they have a compromising effect on those who do it and ultimately endanger American lives, whether it's U.S. troops overseas or others. But I mean, to your point, this is why you do need a kind of public debate to talk about, in less stressful times, you know, what techniques actually work, what's the morality of it, what's the legality of it, what's the best policy, because making these decisions under duress is very difficult, but that's when you need a real vetting of the effectiveness of these policies.
All right. Hey, David, thank you so much for being with us once again.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
David's guest on, so we're going to have a great weekend because your guest on Sunday, Larry Summers, and we'll be watching. David,
thank you.
David brings up another good point that I would love debated in full, because when we have these debates and the sound bites are thrown out there, one of the things, as David said, you'll hear is people will say waterboarding's not effective. Well, history has shown over the past 7 years that actually it is very, very effective. Let's tell the truth. Let's talk about what information we get with waterboarding, and then we can debate it. It's effective, but is it worth it? Maybe
still torture.
Maybe it would have been better for a couple of other cities to burn instead of waterboarding, and we can have that debate. If you'd like Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles to be obliterated by a nuclear blast, I certainly respect your opinion, and I think we should just talk about it.
Ridiculous.
Remember, it's all about love.
It is all about love.
Coming up next.